proclamation. Basically, the President's action under 356 was brought under judicial scrutiny in one of the cases. It's one of the very popular cases of 1994. Can you name the case? Through which, for the very first time, President's actions under Article 356 were brought to judicial scrutiny. Again, I'll repeat the question. There is a case which brought President's actions taken under Article 356 to be reviewed by judiciary or under judicial review or scrutiny. Which was the case? Okay. So as I have repeated in several sessions again and again, SR Bomai case of 1994. It is a very important case for our constitutional development because in this particular case, Supreme Court unanimously held that any proclamation would be subject to judicial review on the grounds of illegality, malefied, or abuse of power. Right? Then I have also discussed that Parliament has to approve. Remember, Parliament has to approve the actions taken by President. What is the time limit? If you have attended last sessions or previous sessions, you must have remembered that we discussed any proclamation made by President need to be approved by Parliament. Again, this was something that was brought by SR Bomai case of 1994, right? And it also gave a time limit. Time limit were couple of months. So it was 2 months. Parliament need to approve the actions within the 2 months. Right? Okay. So while the case was about Article 370, many must have been reading about Article 35A, about Article 370. The case essentially was about Article 356. Right? So remember from mains point of view especially, why the Article 370 case was special. Because President's power or President, which is itself a question topic in mains sometimes, in its way forward, you can mention that how in the Article 370 abrogation case, Supreme Court again focused upon the uses or the agreeable uses of Article 356. Okay. Now, because I have said it, can you tell about Article 35A? What is Article 35A? Let me reframe the rules of writing. Just write only 1 or 2 words. That's more than enough. Great. It was a presidential order. Much better. So if someone says Article 5A, the better key term to remember is permanent residence. Right? So it basically forbidded some outsiders from permanent and right. Also especially barred female residents of Jammu Kashmir for property rights. Okay. So this was our constitutional development का पहला article 370 SR Bomai case and article 35A. ठीक है, that's for this. Let's move on to the second part, which is citizenship. Citizenship again is in news. This time it was more specifically in news due to section 6A of Citizenship Act. Right? Anyone have any idea about section 6A? Section 6A of Citizenship Act. कोई बात नहीं. It's also generally referred by Assam Accord. Idea about Assam Accord? General idea. I don't need any specific. No specificity is you can just answer simply in few words. What was Assam Accord about? Good, very good. It was indeed about citizenship of people living in Assam. So, as per section 6A, it was before 1971 that whoever have entered in India would be allowed to register themselves as citizen, right? This was the section 6A, or is in some way sets the cutoff date for entry into Assam, right? And brings the issue of illegal immigrants in existence. Great. The citizenship, the whole this particular act was brought because we have certain constitutional provisions. Which articles are related to citizenship in our constitution? Great. Article 5 to 11. Indeed. ठीक है. Now let's move a little bit further from Citizenship Act. Next is National Population Register. Okay. Why it was in news? Because we have census going on. So in census, the issue of NPR came up, and hence we need to have a little bit idea about NPR. So this is a true and false statement. Tell me, was NPR prepared under the provisions of Citizenship Act 1955? Yes or no? Does Citizenship Act 1955 provisions for a NPR? ठीक है. Is there any other citizenship rule or act which brings NPR into existence? Okay, this is a little bit complicated, right? See, there was 2003 citizenship rules which were brought under Citizenship Act 1955, right? So जैसे we have Environment Ministry, how it works is we have a broad act, Environment Protection Act 1986. Under that, the ministry is authorized to bring certain rules. So it brought rules such as management of plastic waste, electronic waste recycle. These are all rules, but brought under EPA Act, right? So NPR was brought under 2003 rules, which were issued under under Act of 1955. Okay. Next, we have Foreigners Tribunal. Again, revision ही चल रहा है अभी. A Foreigners Tribunal क्या है? Let me tell you in very brief. We discussed about Assam Accord. Try to link it with it, right? So in Assam Accord, we have sort of put up a cutoff date for entry into Assam. There was another cutoff date. Which was put up before the Assam Accord. It was 1966, right? So there was another date of 1966. Can you tell me why this particular date is significant, or this year is significant? Year of 1966. Acha, when did Bangladesh came into existence? Which year did Bangladesh came into existence? Great. It was indeed year 1971. Again, that was in news, sort of. It was in news because we have this particular movie which was released on this issue, right? And one another is being made. So we need to have an idea about Bangladesh. It was indeed in 1971 when it gained independence from this particular Pakistan, right? And 1966 is important because there was a 6-point movement which was spearheaded by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who also got a particular title last year, right? It was an honorary title which was given by our country to him. No need to remember it. If you remember, type it. Otherwise, there's no need to remember it, right? Or recall it. It is not a significant one, but it is very significant when we are going to write answers in mains. And it roughly translates to friend or brother in Hindi. Can anyone recall? Mujibur Rahman, some title was given to him. Chalo, koi baat nahi. No issue, nothing. The major part is you remember 1971. You also need to remember the year of 1966 when the 6-point movement started. Okay? We'll be discussing it or more briefly in PT 365 culture and history. अभी के लिए तो foreigner tribunal पे वापस आते हैं. So we know there was an Assam Accord and these dates. So foreigner tribunal was set. Correct me, tell me true and false. The tribunal possesses the power of a criminal court while trying a suit under while trying a particular case of citizenship. Again, the tribunal possesses powers of criminal court when trying a case of citizenship. True or false? Okay, one false. Again false. So correct. It's civil court. So tribunal has civil court, right? ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. अगला है डंकी. I have again requested yet and again, try to read about Donkey. Movie was released. UPSC has this particular habit of asking something from current affair. So Donkey was very significant. From Donkey, let's try to come to why Donkey is used, because passports, right? So can you tell me that how many passport are in India? Any idea? And remember, if anyone finds what I'm asking is difficult or tough, kindly write it in the comment section. Right? I'll try to answer it immediately. No issue. How many types of passports are in India? So we have an answer, 3. Okay. Chalo, koi baat nahi. It means it's a tough one, but I see, Raghav, it's actually 4 now. The 3 that you remember were original. So see, we have 3. Remember the 3 colors. You need to remember 3 colors. As an IFS officer, it is very important to remember. The first one is your blue colored one. We all know blue colored one. It's the simple one. It's given to every citizen. Then comes the white one. This is probably the most powerful passport that is issued in India because it is only given to government officials, right? And the color means that it has much more preference and security clearance, right? So first is your blue colored, which is your ordinary. Second is a white passport given to government officials and traveling abroad for official work, right? Not every government official gets it. Only those traveling abroad for official work. Then we have diplomat passports, which are maroon colored, right? So, like we had a Canada embassy issue. Some of the passports and visas were cancelled. Remember, so Canada's flag has red color, right? So we'll try to imagine it little bit in maroon. So the maroon colored is about your diplomats. The white, no need to remember, it is the strongest. And the blue that we all get. The fourth one that I'm mentioning is a recent development. It was an orange passport and it was issued to people who are at risk of getting exploited. What does it mean or not? It is a very complex issue. Simply, if you are a person living abroad and there is a risk associated to you, right? For example, Ukraine war. For example, Yemen crisis, right? Right now we had in Ethiopia. So in these particular cases, because people are in serious danger or at a higher risk of exploitation, especially women and children, they are provided orange passports. This was an initiative taken in recent year, I think around 2019, right? And these are provided so that people who are trapped over here, they could uh, like get faster recovery or recall to their home nation, which is India. Okay, so we have 4 types of passport. Next, let's move to fundamental rights. Last year we had a change in Article 19. Now the change in Article 19 was not constitutionally, but it was in its application. Can anyone tell me what was the change that was brought in Article 19? It is discussed very less, which I am also a little bit amazed about. But Article 19 application was changed by by Supreme Court last year. Idea? No, chalo koi baat nahi. So last year what happened was there was a case of Uttar Pradesh, right? The state of Uttar Pradesh and others, and I think the person was Kushal Kishore. He filed a case against the state of Uttar Pradesh, and then under SLP the case went to Supreme Court, where Supreme Court said that Article 19(1), which has all your freedoms, right? Speech, movement, etc., etc. They all are can be enforced against private individuals. Remember, state के against तो होता ही है. हमें पढ़ते आते हैं कि it is applicable against state. Yeah, whenever our rights are breached by state, we can apply a case seeking relief. But now it is also applicable in the case of private individuals. It can be enforced against private individuals. Okay? So if Article 19(1) is applied, the Article 19(2), 3, 4 clauses, which are to restrict the use, they are also applicable. Okay? This was a very significant development which happened last year. So in this regard, Article 19(1), I think everyone must be knowing Article 1, Clause A, Clause B, Clause C, Clause D, Clause C, Clause F, Clause G. There is one clause which have been removed. कौन सा? From A to G, we have clauses or basically expansion about what freedom of rights you have, right? Under Article 19. One clause was removed. Which was it? And what's it called? Correct. Very good. Very good. Right to property. Right to property was removed from the list of sub clauses of Article 19, Clause 1. Do you remember which alphabet is pertaining to property? ठीक है. Someone is writing. Chalo. I'll be helping you to revise Article 19, Clause 1, right? And bear with me for some time. Try to understand how to remember those. देखो, first of all, you have freedom of speech and expression. Everyone knows, right? So पहले तो आपने बोला, you had the right to speak. Now when you are speaking, obviously you will then form a group, right? So you are speaking, try to imagine, how to imagine, like first you are speaking, then you will be assembling people unofficially. पहले unofficially आपका group बनेगा बड़ा सा. So Article 19(1)(b) is about right to assembly. तो JNU में जब students protest करते हैं, या any institution of India where people assemble to protest against anything, it is their fundamental right in the Article Clause 19(1), Clause 1(b). फिर आप official forum पे जाओगे. So what is this official forum? It is your associations. So Article 19(1) Clause C, there you have official forum here to form associations or unions or even cooperative societies. ठीक है? Now after you have, ये तो हो गया speaking over. So after speaking, what is next necessary part? Moving. So Article 19 Clause 1(d) is to move freely throughout the territory of India. अब आपने गाड़ी निकाली, you are roaming in India and you found some place where you want to settle. So Article 19 Clause 1(e) is about residing and settling in any part of territory of India. Article 35(a) obviously was contravening it and now it has been removed. So subject अब pan India applicable है Article 19 Clause 1 Clause E, which is to reside and settle in any part of territory of India. फिर आया property का, but उसको हमने निकाल दिया. Which article now pertains to right to property? 200 or 300? Correct. Article 300A is for right to property. Good. And remember, it is for any person, right? UPSC may ask for citizens. No, it is not only for citizens. It is for any person. तो alien भी हो सकता है. Here alien means he not having citizenship of India. तो इस इंडिया के बाउंड्री के बाद हर everyone is alien. ठीक है? So Article 300A, right to property, and it is available to the constitutional right is available to every person. And finally in G, जब आप settle हो जाते हो ना, decide कर लेते हो, then you practice your professions या carry trade or businesses. ठीक है? So Article 1G is about practicing your profession या right to choose and carry out your occupation. तो अब शॉर्ट में इसको वापस रिकॉल करते हैं. पहले आप बोलते हो, then you have an official group formed, then you make it official, then you move across India, you find a place where you want to settle, and from there you start working. So Article 19(1) में क्या हो गया? A is about speaking, B is about assembly या unofficial, है ना? Officials तो association हो गए. So right to assembly. C is about associations. D में आप घूमो India. E में you will be settling, and in G you have right to profess your job or career in India. This is the series of Article 19(1). ठीक है? Now what is Article 21? Great. It's right to life and liberty. ठीक है? So remember now that you can also this also has been expanded to use against private individuals. ठीक है? So आपका 19 भी है और अब 21 भी है. Next, हाँ, let's come back to our revision and remember we have discussed about parliamentary privileges. It is like a very enhanced sort of right to freedom of speech and expression available to only parliamentarians. So जो MPs को मिलता है ये, which is the article through which they get this? Let me reframe the question अगर समझ में नहीं आया तो. Article of our constitution which provides privileges to our MP. Correct. 105. Article 105. Then does India has definition of hate speech? ठीक है. Does India have any system to combat hate speech? Are there laws or some? Correct. Yes. IPC के various provisions में such as we have discussed 295, right? The most simple one 295. ठीक है? These sections of IPC do deal with hate speech. Euthanasia is something which is like a issue or something which has developed in 2018 and 19, right? It is parallel to current affairs. थोड़ा सा idea euthanasia का रखना. Why? Because it may help in prelims but definitely in mains. तो अभी तो हम euthanasia को discuss उतना करेंगे नहीं. And neither there was something specific which I am remembering regarding it. ठीक है? We'll directly move on to essential religious practice. Can someone mention or tell about essential religious practices? अच्छा, किसी को पता हो कौन सा फर्स्ट केस था जिससे हमने इस डॉक्ट्रिन को डेवलप करा था? हाँ, great, very good, Nandika. It is indeed covered under your Article 25, 26. Yeah. नहीं आइडिया, चलो कोई बात नहीं. It was Shirur Mutt case. If ma'am is there, ma'am, can you type Shirur Mutt case of 1954? Great. ठीक है. So Shirur Mutt case of 1954 was the first incident when doctrine of essential religious practices came into existence. ठीक है. Then I discussed about triple test formula. क्या था? ट्रिपल टेस्ट फॉर्मूला। चलो उसको ऐसे याद करते हैं। कैन टेल एनीवन टेल मी आर्टिकल 340? आर्टिकल 340, 340। अरे ये तो 2 साल का करंट अफेयर है, थोड़ा सा याद करो। नहीं आ रहा, चलो कोई बात नहीं। आर्टिकल 340, a commission may be made to investigate issues related to educationally and socially backward caste या ओबीसी। ठीक है, सो आर्टिकल 340 में आप कमीशन बनाते हो टू इन्वेस्टिगेट द कंडीशंस ऑफ बैकवर्ड कास्ट। ठीक, देन इसको यूज करके अभी एक कमीशन चल रही है विच इज अवर सब कैटेगराइजेशन ऑफ ओबीसीज। विच इज दैट पर्टिकुलर कमीशन? ग्रेट, जस्टिस जी रोहिणी। ठीक है, एक्स जस्टिस चाहिए, फॉर्मर जस्टिस है वो। ठीक है, so this is Rohini commission for subcategorization of OBC. And now can anyone tell me about triple test formula? Because we have now came on to the topic of reservation, I think you may be able to recall it. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं। ट्रिपल टेस्ट फॉर्मूला इवॉल्व्ड बाय सुप्रीम कोर्ट टू गाइड गवर्नमेंट्स। किस बारे में? कब आप रिजर्वेशन दे सकते हो। ठीक है, सो रिजर्वेशन कब दोगे आप? द सुप्रीम कोर्ट गेव a directive of 3 instructions या 3 points। ठीक है, पहला क्या था? आपने जिसके बारे में आपको जिसको देना है, राइट, जिस बैकवर्ड क्लास को देना है उसके लिए आप पहले कमीशन एक सेटअप करोगे फॉर एम्पेरिकल इंक्वायरी। देन आप स्पेसिफाई करोगे द रिजर्वेशंस दैट यू आर गोइंग टू गिव। ठीक है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कमीशन रिकमेंडेशन। एंड थर्ड, वो ब्रीच नहीं करना चाहिए द लिमिट विच वॉज सेट अप इन इंदिरासानी बाय इंदिरासानी केस ऑफ 1990s। ठीक है, तो अभी क्या करो, जो बार बार भूल जाता है इसको, डिस्पाइट इट बीइंग अ वेरी क्रिटिकल इश्यूज ऑफ करंट अफेयर्स, एक इन्वर्टेड ट्राइंगल ड्रॉ करो विथ 3 लेयर्स। 3 लेयर होनी चाहिए उस इन्वर्टेड ट्राइंगल में। फर्स्ट लेयर में लिखो आर्टिकल 340, सेकेंड लेयर में लिखो जी रोहनी कमीशन, और थर्ड लेयर में लिखो ट्रिपल टेस्ट फॉर्मूला। ठीक है, और ट्रिपल टेस्ट फॉर्मूला को कैसे याद रखोगे? देखो, उसको याद करो लाइक डबल टेस्ट। एक्चुअली वो डबल टेस्ट ही है। फर्स्ट में आप एक कमीशन बना रहे हो और सेकंड में उसके बेसिस पे रिकमेंडेशंस दे रहे हो, लाइक एनी लॉजिकल स्टेप्स या कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन। पहले आप कमीशन बनाओ और फिर कमीशन के रिकमेंडेशंस के बेसिस पे रिजर्वेशंस दो। और वो थर्ड स्टेप क्या है कि ब्रीच नहीं करना चाहिए लिमिट। ठीक है, tomorrow if my if my Wi-Fi gets okay, I'll try to draw that particular triangle so that you are able to visualize it too. So ये है हमारा significant current affair which we have wrapped up. Next, let's talk about the fact check unit. As I previously mentioned, this is much more important for your mains. Acha. Nandika, today I am actually not going article by article wise. I am giving from my notes, right? And these are mixture of 2 3 particular PDFs, but only essential part has been taken from 365. So as I was, PIB ka fact check unit, again it is very much important for your mains. इसके लिए या for prelims it is not so much, but फिर भी पता होना चाहिए. It was made to address the issue of fake news, or more accurately the issue of yellow journalism. What is yellow journalism? ठीक है, ये भी कई बार हम लोग को कंफ्यूजन होता है रिकॉल करने में. I'll tell you how to remember it, but someone is typing. Good job. ठीक है. See, वो sensational headlines वाला बिल्कुल सही बात. ठीक है. And well done recalling it. It is indeed the attention grabbing headlines. How to recall this particular phenomena or remember this concept? देखो, आपके पास एक येलो बुक होती थी. Before we had contact book in our phones, used to have a yellow book, which was very significant because उसमें सबके numbers रहते थे. So what yellow journalism basically means is that there would be a person, it would call someone, ठीक है, and say कि आप इस news को चला दो, and the news would be aired because it has been funded. So this is the attention grabbing headlines, and here you have more sensation than facts. ठीक है, इसलिए इसको येलो जर्नलिज्म बोलते हैं. अब हम अगले टॉपिक पे आते हैं, एनएसए. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस ऑन एनएसए बिकॉज अब आई होप everyone is prepared with it. I am going to give some pointers or going to mention certain topics. उसको एक तरीके से एनएसए के अम्ब्रेला में लिख लेना है, माइंड चार्ट में इंक्लूड कर लेना. एक है एनएसए, नेशनल सिक्योरिटीज एक्ट. फिर उसमें है प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन. प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन में आया आर्टिकल 22. ठीक है, अगेन एनएसए में है प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन, and then we have article 22. Why these three you need to remember? Because हो सकता है वो punitive detention देके पूछ ले. Punitive detention का मतलब क्या रहता है? Punishment. Punitive का मतलब होता है ना punishment. So it means that Supreme Court said that Mr. XYZ would be going to jail. So what your UPSC will do? It will ask you that article 22 provides it gives you certain rights, again preventive and punitive detention. So it's false. It gives you rights against preventive detention. ठीक है. एनएसए भी लिख लिया हमने. अगला है टॉपिक अबाउट राइट टू चेंज नेम. सो वी नो दैट सम नेम्स वर चेंज इन ऑफ सिटीज, and as well as people also change their names, right? इसका इम्पैक्ट कहाँ होता है? इसका इम्पैक्ट होता है आपके नेशनल रजिस्टर में. सो देयर इज अ नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर, as well as there is a portal where we have count of every birth and death. ठीक है, these are all maintained by ministries and government of India. So जब आप नाम चेंज करने जाते हो ना, those things get impacted, right? तो पहले हम आते हैं राइट टू चेंज नेम. इज राइट टू चेंज नेम एंड अ फंडामेंटल राइट? डू यू थिंक इट इज अ फंडामेंटल राइट? Yes or no? वापस से, is या changing your name, right to change your name, is it a fundamental right? Yes or no question है. किसी को आर्टिकल याद आ रहा है, भले से आर्टिकल भी लिख देना, that would be much appreciated. Correct, it would come under article 21. Great. So right to change name does come or is a part of right to life under article 21. ठीक है. Before moving on, के पुट्टा स्वामी केस सबको याद है. Why was के पुट्टा स्वामी केस important? उससे क्या आया था? Right to fill in the blanks. Great. Right to privacy. अब remember this particular thing, very like hear this with attention. When K. Puttaswamy judgment case came, every paper used to say that it is a part of Article 21. Right to privacy is part of Article 21. Galat hai. The K. Puttaswamy case gave a golden triangle. A triangle which consists of Article 14, Article 19 and Article 21. So एक ऐसा ना golden triangle है 14, 19, 21 का. राइट टू प्राइवेसी आती है उसके अंदर. सो राइट टू प्राइवेसी इज बेसिकली डीलिंग विथ आर्टिकल 14, 19 and 21. बट इफ द स्टेटमेंट सेज दैट इट इज मोस्टली कवर्ड बाय आर्टिकल 21, रिमेंबर इसने क्या बोला? मोस्टली कवर्ड, नॉट कंप्लीटली, मोस्टली कवर्ड, देन इट इज करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. सो मेजर ऑफ द पार्ट या मेजर ऑफ द राइट्स of right to privacy is pertaining to right to life, article 21, but it is not solely under the article 21. It is in fact through the golden triangle of article 14, 19 and 21. ठीक है, इसको क्लियर करके रखना. Again, a छोटा सा misconception. We already discussed about article 19. There was a significant development last year. अभी मैंने डिस्कस करा था, क्या था वो? वापस से लिखो कोई. What was the significant development in Article 19 last year? In Kushal Kishore versus State of Uttar Pradesh case of 2023. Also guys, जो आपके दिमाग में आ रहा है लिख दिया करो, है ना? Because this is a platform कि आपको बस लिख देना आंसर्स जो आ रहा है दिमाग में. Correct. So we know that Article 19 is enforced against state. Now, last year it was declared by Supreme Court that these articles can be enforced against private individuals. Great job. Is someone saying something? ठीक है, हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. हम दूसरे राइट पे आ जाते हैं. तो राइट टू चेंज नेम हो गया, राइट टू साइलेंस भी है. डिस्कस कर रहा था. विच आर्टिकल कवर्स राइट टू साइलेंस या राइट टू रिमेन साइलेंट? ठीक है, करेक्ट. So it was actually article, it was article 20. ठीक है, सेल्फ इंक्रिमिनेशन के अंदर आता है राइट टू साइलेंस, राइट? So like we have a right against self incrimination, we have right to silent under it. ठीक है, इट इज नॉट आर्टिकल 19(1). उससे लगता है कि इट इज रिलेटेड टू फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, बट रिमेंबर द राइट टू साइलेंस और remain silent is under article 20, and she also has mentioned the clause which is 3. Perfect. ठीक है. I think we have discussed it already, but there are some rights provided to foreigners. क्यों न्यूज में था? अगेन बिकॉज हमने कनाडा वालों को हटाया था यहाँ से, बिजवेन या एम्बेसीज, सो थोड़े बहुत मसले उठे न्यूज में. Which articles are available exclusively to citizens? ठीक, करेक्ट. It is 15, 16, 19, 29 and 30. Great. ठीक है. अब हम आ जाते हैं थोड़ा सा डिस्क्रिप्टिव आर्टिकल पे, एंड लेट्स मेक आवर नेक्स्ट 2 आर्टिकल्स क्लोजिंग आर्टिकल्स ऑफ द डे. ठीक है, इसके बाद सेशन इज ओवर. सो फर्स्ट इज इंटरनेट शटडाउन, बिकॉज इंटरनेट शटडाउन काफी हुए थे इंडिया में. अरे सॉरी, I apologize. We are not going to discuss internet shutdown. It is again your sort of homework. Again, इसमें कुछ बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है, but चलो ये आ गया है मेरे मुंह पे, तो I'll discuss it quickly. India topped internet shutdowns in 2022. ठीक है, ये तो एक हुआ fact, जिसके basis पे we had several things such as DNS tampering, IP blocking, URL filtering. ठीक है, मैं इसको थोड़ा सा धीरे बोलता हूँ. DNS tampering, IP ब्लॉकिंग एंड URL फिल्टरिंग, ये तीनों ही ना साइंस एंड टेक के ज्यादा पार्ट बनते हैं. ठीक है, दीज आर 3 टेक्निक्स थ्रू विच गवर्नमेंट हैड इम्पोज्ड इंटरनेट शटडाउन. ठीक है, अब हम लास्ट 2 आर्टिकल्स पे आते हैं. पहला तो है पर्सनालिटी राइट्स. इंडिया में इज देयर एनी लॉ विच गिव्स पर्सनालिटी राइट्स? Yes or no question है. Any law which gives personality rights in India? Is there such law, or yes or no? Correct. We have discussed it before also. No, there is no law on right to, yeah, on personality rights. ठीक है. And when we were discussing it, we were discussing under international conventions, that there are certain international conventions. Again, उसमें भी personality rights तो नहीं है, but we could somehow induce some of it. So there were 3 major conventions. पहला है रोम कन्वेंशन, दूसरा है ट्रिप्स एग्रीमेंट, और थर्ड है विपो का परफॉर्मेंस एंड फोनोग्राम्स ट्रीटी. तो लास्ट वाला छोड़ देते. विपो आई डोंट थिंक देयर वुड बी अ लिटिल बिट, मतलब लिटिल बिट आइडिया ही होगा, बट रोम कन्वेंशन एंड ट्रिप्स एग्रीमेंट बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. पहली बात तो रोम कन्वेंशन, as I have said it in this article, now you all can relate. It is related to किससे रिलेटेड होगा रोम कन्वेंशन? हाँ, so not exactly personality rights, it would be related to your artist. जितने भी आपके आर्टिस्ट होते हैं ना, फॉर एग्जाम्पल लाइक अभी शायद टेलर स्विफ्ट एंड दीज ऑल people are famous, right? So the rights they have that no one can copy their voice, no one can use their songs in unauthorized manner, right? All these things. So these rights are covered under Rome Convention. क्यों याद रखना है? Because maybe UPSC gives 4 options, उसमें से एक Rome Convention लिख दे, and instead of matching it to IP, right? These are intellectual property rights, right? So instead of uh, matching it with IPR, they may match it with some wheat or something else, right? Confusing you. So remember, Rome Convention is about IPR or intellectual property right. Next we have TRIPS agreement. देखो अब TRIPS agreement is a very broad agreement. उसमें आप इट्सी बिट्सी नहीं निकाल सकते. So TRIPS agreement basically is related to everything. इतना सा भी अगर वो रिलेटेड है इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी से, सो ट्रिप्स एग्रीमेंट एक करेक्ट आंसर हो जाता है. इतना ज्यादा मत सोचना अगर वो आता है तो, ठीक है. एंड उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन हम करेंगे मेंस में, बिकॉज इट हैज बिकम अ सिग्निफिकेंट इश्यू दिस ईयर. एंड द फाइनल आर्टिकल is on DPSP. So why पहली बात तो why DPSP was in news. So what happened was that there were some people from deceased government employees in West Bengal which said कि हमें compassionate appointment चाहिए, right? And Supreme Court denied it. So पहली बात ये compassionate appointment, पहली बार टर्म सुन रहे हो क्या? Compassionate appointment, yes or no में लिख देना. नो, ठीक है. देखो कंपैशनेट अपॉइंटमेंट होता क्या है. इट्स अगेन जैसा पूरा मेंशन्ड है कि बेसिकली गिविंग एम्प्लॉयमेंट ऑन कंपैशनेट ग्राउंड्स. मान लो गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट है, राइट? ही डाइड while performing his duties, या on medical grounds he had to retire, right? And leave the family, कोई सा सोर्स नहीं है सस्टेनेंस का, तब आप कंपैशनेट राइट कॉल करते हो. एंड दीज आर अंडर योर आर्टिकल 39. So Article 39, which basically comes from DPSP, right? So Article 39 gives you the right to compassionate appointment. ये concept है, ये right नहीं है. Let me reframe it. It is a concept. So you can go to Supreme Court or some place and ask for compassionate appointment. ठीक है? And it cannot be, again remember, it is not a right, yet it is not sort of a requirement. सेकेंड, आप इसको कभी भी रिकॉल नहीं कर सकते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल देयर इज सम मेजर, राइट? ही वाज सैक्रिफाइस्ड ऑन बॉर्डर्स इन हिज ड्यूटी. तो ऐसा नहीं हो सकता दैट हिज वाइफ कैन कॉल फॉर कंपैशनेट अपॉइंटमेंट एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ आवर लाइफ, राइट? नो, इट हैज टू बी अराउंड द क्राइसिस सिचुएशन ओनली. ठीक है? सो लेट्स कम बैक टू आर्टिकल 39, बिकॉज मोटा मोटी every year UPSC is sort of asking a question about certain directives which are mentioned in Article 39. ठीक है? So I'm going to mention certain policies. You have to tell whether it is under Article 39 or not. ठीक है? Again, telling you certain policies, only you have to mention whether it is under Article 39 or not. पहला, policy of adequate means of livelihood. Policy of adequate means of livelihood. Correct. Yes. Second, policy of ownership and control of material resources of the community. Very good. Indeed. है ना, policy of ownership and control of community resources या resources of community, material resources of community. Third, equal pay for equal work. हाँ, yes. हाँ, yes, for both men and women, correct. Then policy of operating the economic system, ठीक है, so that there is no concentration of wealth and means of population. ये PYQ है, ठीक है. So DPSP Article 39 basically says हाँ कि the government can bring some policy which prevents accumulation of wealth to few individuals, ठीक है. Then we have policy for preservation of health and strength of workers. Correct. So आपका जो इंडस्ट्रियल लेबर कोड है, it is nothing that it is not a colonial legacy. If anyone asks that the years of those particular acts and laws are so behind, right? Even in 2020 we have bought some changes, but still it is majorly relying on the colonial or the very old laws. Why? Because those are fulfilling the policy for preservation of health and strength of workers and children. Okay. And then there is the final policy. This is not a yes and no question. It is simply because it is a very broad one, which basically says कि for moral and material development, ठीक है, for moral and material development, you may bring opportunities to children and youth. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? जो स्किल इंडिया है, the skill India movement, if you look at it with a broader perspective, you will see it is about the material development. And let's say tomorrow if there is certain sort of directive by state which is taken, for example they are introducing that these particular stories or ancient text, right, the stories of Mahabharata or Ramayana is being taught in school, right? So these policies are not some sort of action that can be taken by state unilaterally. No. In Article 39, they have been invested that they need to make, they need to ensure there is a material or moral development of child and youth. So, next time, whenever you read an issue where such issues come, right? For example, let's say in XYZ state, they said ki Ramayana and Mahabharata is to be taught in schools. Yeah, they say that the holy book of Quran needs to be taught, right? The Bhagavad Gita, holy book need to be taught. So these all things, if any state is bringing it, it is well under their capacity if they are bringing this for moral development of youth. ठीक है. अब वो मैलिफाइड इंटेंशन है कि नहीं, that would be judged by Supreme Court. That bringing certain epics books in the curriculum is by maleficent or it is due to the policy under Article 39. But now we have a broader perspective on such newses, on such cases of news. ठीक है. So ये हो गया हमारा आज का session. If tomorrow we'll see whether we be going for more revision or for studying more, right? कल क्या क्या पढ़ के आना है? Try to read about President of India. Try to read about Parliament and State Legislature, right? And एक तरीके से ब्रॉड उसमें बोलूं मैं, सो ट्राई टू रीड अबाउट फेडरलिज्म. विल बी डिस्कसिंग फेडरलिज्म टुमारो.